At 6:01 p.m., I call the Economic Development Corporation meeting to order. We have a quorum.
Help with that.
Excuse me. Myself is here, Terry Addington.
John Main is here.
John Ryback here.
Andrew Morgan here.
Joe Longo.
And we have opportunity for public comments. This is an opportunity for citizens to address the Board Commission on any matter pursuant to Texas Government Code, Section 551.007. Board Commission is not permitted to discuss or take action on any presentations made concerning matters that are not listed on the agenda. Presentations are limited to matters over which the Board Commission has authority. Speakers have up to 4 minutes or the time limit determined by the presiding officer. Each speaker must have submitted the request to speak by completing the speaker's form or having emailed Tammy. Ms. Dixon, do we have anyone signed up to speak?
No, ma'am.
Regular items. Number one, introduction of new board members. John?
Hi, John Ryback.
Discuss the general roles.
Andrew's new.
Andrew's new?
You're not
Andrew's
new?
not new. Okay. Discuss the general roles and responsibilities of the Economic Development Corporation Board. Mr. Wright.
All right, good evening, Economic Development Board. It's good to be with you this evening. Seeing as how we have a new member, but also it's been a little while since we've had an opportunity to meet, we thought it would be a good idea for us to run through the general roles and responsibilities of being a board member here on the Economic Development Corporation Board. So I think, hold on. There we go. All right. So I have a short slide deck that we'll run through, and certainly if you have any questions, feel free to stop me, and we'll go ahead and take those questions. So first of all, I'm recognizing that the Economic Development Corporation, the EDC, is appointed by the Town Council. Okay, so the Town Council takes action to go ahead and appoint each of you to your seats, and you serve for 2 years at a time, and you're serving in staggered roles. That's why one member comes on, and others will be new members, and others of you will be existing members. You can serve a maximum of 6 years on the board. Okay, so that would be 3 2-year terms. The EDC acts in an advisory capacity to the Town Council. That's one of its responsibilities in the economic development role, right? Provide advice to and counsel to the Town Council about economic development matters. But the really kind of the purpose that you have is really laid out in your bylaws and your articles of incorporation. You're a little bit unique in the fact that you are actually your own corporation. And that's something that is different than any other board or commission that we have, right? In other words, you have responsibilities for fiduciary responsibilities for the sales tax dollars that we bring in for economic development purposes. Ultimately, right, your purpose is to promote economic development within the town and to eliminate unemployment and underemployment. That's what the bylaws and the articles of incorporation say. The EDC budget, you're also responsible for recommending a proposed budget to the Town Council. The Town Council is ultimately the one that sets the budget, but you have responsibility to propose a budget to them. And we have to do that at least 90 days before the start of a new fiscal year, which is October 1. So over the summer, we will be bringing forward recommendations to you about how to use that money. We'll have some discussions around it, and ultimately have you vote on a proposal for that. And again, it's a nonprofit created to finance new and expanding business enterprises. There is a funding mechanism here that you have responsibilities for when it comes to those tax dollars. And how much of it that we have, there's a half cent that is on all sales and use tax here in the city, in the TrophyClub that we use for economic development purposes. That's about $750,000 every year that is utilized for this purpose. All the projects must be approved by the council before starting. Okay, so you go ahead and you approve a project, but it also has to go to the Town Council, and they approve that project. As a type B corporation now, as you go around and talk with other people about economic development corporations, right, they're going to talk about a type A and a type B. We are a type B. A type B is, in my opinion, it's the better version of the A's and the B's. A's have a set of projects that they can do. B can do all those same sets of projects, and then some. And we'll talk about the and then some projects that we get to add into that. You can do things like pay for land, buildings, equipment, facilities, targeted infrastructure, and improvements. You can do all those things when it comes to economic development. And a little bit unique to us is that because we are a population of under 20,000 people, We are not as restricted in our use of economic development dollars as some other cities and towns would be if they're over 20,000 population. And what that is, it's in the area where you have to demonstrate your project is tied directly to what's called primary jobs. And primary jobs at state level, those are the jobs that contribute to things that are, think of it as like things that are exported, okay? So most of the time it's going to involve things like warehouses, manufacturing, kind of that type of industry, right? Things that are exported, those are considered primary jobs. We don't need to worry about that primary job requirement because we have a population of under 20,000 population, and that helps us. All right, so this is the list of projects that we can begin working on, right? This first slide is going to demonstrate, this is kind of the normal type A, right? So this is all of the ones for which economic development funds were originally intended for before they added to it. So it's development, retention, or expansion of things like manufacturing, industrial facilities, research and development facilities, military facilities, recycling facilities, distribution centers, small warehouse facilities, primary job training facilities for use by institutions of higher education, and regional or national corporate headquarter facilities. All right, so those are kind of your traditional type A things. Now you take that look at that list and you're like, there's not a lot of opportunities for those in a community like ours where we don't have a lot of available land. However, those are some of the available uses of the type B funds. All right, and then we kind of, and then some, right? The other project that we get to add to our list. Infrastructure improvements that promote and develop business enterprises. Okay, so those can be things like expanding roadways, sidewalks, interconnectivity of certain areas with parts of the community for economic development purposes can fit the definition of a type B corporation. Maintenance and operating costs associated with projects and job training. And then we have the quality of life improvement projects. Okay, these are the kind of some of the funner ones. Professional amateur sports and athletic facilities, tourism and entertainment facilities, parking and transportation facilities. And then we also get to use 10% as a cap on it, 10% of the amount of money that you receive every year for promotional expenses. And promotional expenses aren't really well defined in state law exactly what they are. However, they do say that you have to use them for advertising or publicizing the city for the purposes of developing new and expanded business enterprises. And so if we can generally fit it underneath one of those buckets, then it becomes a way that we can use our 4B funds. All right, so kind of think of it like this, right? So this is just kind of a summary statement here. This type B corporation, because we're a community with less than 20,000 population, right? We can do things like buy, land, fund buildings, equipment, facilities, expenditures, targeted infrastructure and improvements found by the board of directors to promote new or expanded business development. Okay? Anything that we approve that's over $10,000 does require for it to go to the town council for approval. And when we're at the town council, we have to have a resolution with at least 2 separate readings. Okay, so there's just a formality that we have to do, right, in that process to make sure that it's very transparent to the community what it is that we're doing, but it does slow up the process a little bit, right? So we need to be aware of that. When you approve something, then there's a step after that, the town council, where we have to have 2 separate readings of it before things can be approved for projects that are over $10,000, okay? And projects are different than spending of money, right? So let's say that we are funding a study, for example. That's not a project. Okay, a project is going to be when we are doing something where we are providing some sort of incentive, a grant. We're funding, infrastructure in an area to promote development. Those are the types of things that are projects, right? Those other kind of more, think of them more like administrative fees. Those are not listed underneath, defined as projects, and so you would just normally approve them the normal way that we approve things here in the city. Also, we do have to publish projects at least 60 days prior to undertaking a project. Okay, so keep that in the back of your mind as well. There has to be a publication of it in the newspaper is probably what they're meaning by this. But we have to go ahead and put out something that we are intended to undertake this project before we can actually spend money on it. Any questions so far? So very, very interesting information. All right, so that's generally describing the process of how it is that 4B money is spent. Just remember this, right? At the end of the day, the main responsibility of this board is to oversee the spending of the sales and use tax money that comes in for projects here in Trophy Club. Okay, that's kind of the main reason why you are set up, is to oversee the spending of that money for that purpose. Okay? Roles and responsibilities of the board. Okay, so here soon we're going to have you select a president, a vice president, treasurer, and secretary. They have specific roles, right? And they're kind of the customary roles that you would be familiar with, right? The president is the chief executive officer of the corporation, in charge of kind of all of the affairs, right? So kind of in charge of the property and general things that happen with that. Presides at board meetings, signs and executes documents, and all of that. A vice president essentially serves at the pleasure of the board in whatever things might need to be done with that, as well as filling in for the president when the president is not available to do their responsibilities. Treasurer, you're going to have typical treasurer responsibilities. Okay, so the treasurer is going to worry about all the funds and the finances, ensure that all the books are kept correctly and things like that. Now, obviously, we have a lot of staff to help with things like that, so we're not asking you to personally keep the books. However, we are going to, we will work with you on making sure that that process is kept up from the staff level. And then secretary, typical secretary responsibilities, right? Keeping the minutes, the records, ensuring that there's a good track for how it is that we maintain the documents and ensure the timely signature of documents. All right. So if you take a look at the bylaws and you ask yourself, what are the responsibilities of a board member by way of the bylaws? This is what it's going to say, right? This is bylaw speak right here, right? So it's going to be things like, if directed by the town council, you can research, develop, prepare, finance, and implement a recreational facilities development plan. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, that sounds strange, right? We're an economic development board. Why would that language be in there? Remember, if you go back to one of the intents of a 4B corporation was to add the other projects in, and that in that quality of life style projects, you have a lot of sports tourism, athletic facilities, and things like that, right? So there are inherent facility types of things in order to make draws for tourism and other economic development opportunities in the community. So that's kind of why that type of language would be in our bylaws. Otherwise, you're given all the rights underneath the Act. Right, the Act is that Economic Development Corporation Act to be able to build the economy here in this area in Texas. You need to do things like submit reports to the town council, adopt the proposed budget at least 90 days prior to the start of each fiscal year. All right, so that's what the bylaws will tell you. But then if you ask me, right? So this is Brandon's version now. Okay. So if you're saying, okay, what's the role and responsibility of me as a board member here? First of all, it's make sure that you use a sales tax that's dedicated by our residents to build economic development projects here in the town, right? It's to make sure that we find the right types of projects to use that money for effectively to build business here in Trophy Club. Okay. If you're asking me what's our main purpose, that's what it is right there. Okay, remember that you are set up specifically for the safeguarding and use of those funds that have been set aside by taxpayers to use for economic development purposes in a way that's going to get the biggest bang for our buck, in attracting and sustaining businesses here in our area. Okay. It's also part of the responsibility to set the vision for what the desired amount of new and expanded business looks like here in Trophy Club. All right, so understanding what it is that we are looking for as a community, okay? What type of support do we need to be providing to the businesses that are here? What types of things should we be looking for other types of businesses? All of that is under the purview and the vision of this board. Identify projects that will promote a sense of place where businesses can be successful. All right, so as we talk more and more, this phrase will come up for me a lot, creating a sense of place. Businesses want to know that they're going to be in a place that's going to be successful for them. And that means that we create the right environment around it. Okay. And as a town, that's our responsibility. Okay, making sure that the things like the roads, the infrastructure, the way that it interacts with parks, the way that it interacts with the rest of our community, all works together in a way that's going to promote economic development. And then the last one, right? Develop and fund plans and create a clear picture of the public sector investments and entitlements that will help existing business owners and new developers lower and eliminate risk when investing in Trophy Club. All right, so this is kind of a big one, right? So when people come in and they spend money on putting infrastructure on the ground and either growing their business or starting a new business here in Trophy Club, what they're wondering is their investment going to be worth it? Okay, and that's the whole point. If we go back to the kind of use of those funds, it's to lower and reduce that risk that they have of investing money here in Trophy Club, hoping that they earn a return for their business, right? We want businesses to be successful. We want them to make money. If they're not making money, then we're not going to be successful here as a town. Okay, so we want to do things that will develop the plan, make sure that they understand that sense of place, right? That we're preparing the way for the entitlements. In other words, the zoning issues that need to be taken care of, right? That we're working collaboratively in that process to make sure that businesses have the right type of environment here to be successful. When there is ambiguity or there is confusion from developers and business owners, that means they don't invest in your town. All right, what they want is a clear picture. They want to understand, how do I get from where I am to where I'm going, who's going to be co-locating around me, and what type of environment are you building here so that they can be successful when they plant their business on that. If we can answer that question for them, then they'll be much more willing to invest their dollars here in TrophyClub. All right, some avoiding some common mistakes that happen. First of all, is just making sure that everyone knows, right? And this is kind of also for community education, right? The town and the EDC we don't really decide which companies come in here to TrophyClub. Once someone buys property, so long as they're have a use that is consistent with the current zoning underneath their property, they have the right to be able to come in and to bring in that business. Okay? So avoiding the mistake of thinking that our job is to hand select businesses that come in or out, right? Our job is different than that. It's not to hand select businesses. We try to create the environment where they can be successful. The second one is to make sure that we understand the power and authority of the Economic Development Corporation rests with the board acting as a body, right? No individual member of the Economic Development Board has any authority in and of themselves. Everything comes from the authority of the board. And so the board has to act together. We need to meet often, right, to be able to help make sure that we are doing those things. The third one there is that businesses want to see structure and commitment to feel comfortable investing in a particular location, right? So they want to know, how do they fit into the larger picture? So that means kind of a shotgun approach to asking businesses to come is not very effective, right? You kind of hear that a lot, right? Have you asked them to come? Have you asked them to come? That version of economic development doesn't really work. What you need to do is our job is, what I always say is our job is to set the table. All right, so think of it kind of, you're preparing a meal, right? Our job is to come get it all ready on that. And then hopefully it's a good enticing meal, right? That's set and the table's well set, so that someone comes along and says, I think I'm going to eat here for a little while. On that, that's the type of environment we're trying to create. And then the last one there is that business capital investment planning and funding is often being developed for the next 1 to 3 year time horizon. Okay? So when we're talking with people about investing here in TrophyClub, right, on the corporate side of things, they have to go back and they have corporate level capital planning that they do. And oftentimes when they're making those decisions, they're making the decisions for the next 1 to 3 years. On it. So we just need to be aware of that, right? So our job is to try and be strategic and consistent over a long term with how it is that we're making these decisions so that we are in place for that capital planning process. So that when they say, okay, we're going to be coming here at this time making these decisions, they know that we'll be lined up with the type of investment that they're looking for here in our community. All right, that's all that I have, but I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any about the roles and responsibilities of the board.
That's it.
That's it. I think I said it all. Exactly. I know. Just a real quick summary, right?
One thing that immediately came to mind as you presented this, thank you very much for the platform. I think it's very valuable for us. How do we, as a board, receive feedback from the town as to the type of businesses and what the town wants in our place set?
Yeah, so one of those opportunities that we'll have is as we develop different plans and we do vision setting with the board here, we will want to, first of all, we want you to go out and be talking with people about what it is they want to see here in the community, both our business owners and our community members as well. But we also need to be building into our process as we develop plans for certain areas on it that we are including public participation within the building of those plans. All right, so one of the successes that economic development offices usually have is that they will make sure that they're when they build a plan for how it is that we want to attract and form a certain area, right, that it's guided by the community on it. And so as we do that effort, we need to make sure that we have plenty of public participation in that process for it. So we will be engaging the public about the decisions of what they want to see, what types of businesses they want to see, but also testing that against the market.
What's the methodology?
the methodology for
testing what the public would like to see? Is it through surveys? Aside from going out and speaking to the community, what other ways do we have?
Yeah, so a lot of times online versions of it, surveys, documents that you kind of provide input into will be very, very helpful. With that, we'll also want to have, at times we'll want to have different focus groups as well, particularly with business owners, because business owners are a little bit different on there. You really need to kind of get a deeper understanding of what's going on with that. And so if we can kind of schedule some things a couple times a year where we might get together and pull in a shred of businesses, just to have a roundtable with them, talk about what's going on, what they're experiencing on that, and figuring out, again, are there any projects that we can put around to support those businesses for it? We need to be looking for opportunities for projects for that.
How do we deal with developers? Because developers hold the key.
Yeah, so my methodology on developers is we go into proactive mode when it comes to developers, right? So there's, you know, if you have a piece of property, for example, and you're saying, okay, we hope that this develops on it, you might be waiting for a long time, and you might be getting offers on that property that may not be completely what it is that you're hoping for. Right. The other way is to kind of flip that around and say, we're going to develop an area plan for this particular area. We're going to take a look at, again, involve the community in that conversation about what it is we want to see, understand what infrastructure needs to be around that area to support the type of businesses that we would want to see invest in that area. And then once you have that plan, make sure that all the entitlement parts are taken care of, right? And then you're going to be going out to developers and saying, here's our plan, we'd like to see if you can fulfill part of this or all of it. On that, there's a lot more success in that version of economic development than there is in the tell me what you can do anywhere, right? Type of a thing on it. So if we get specific about and our vision of what it is that we want to achieve, and we can share that with them, then the developers are out there to say, yeah, I would love to build what's you've already determined you want to do on it, and if it's in their wheelhouse, if it's in their bank of business, you know, they are willing to be there to invest.
Thank you.
Question I had previously we had titles, chair, vice chair, director. So it looks like we're changing from that. Is that? I'm just curious why. If there's a reason behind it.
So what were they before? Sorry. You said
Chair, vice chair, director.
I don't have a great reason other than the fact that this is what it's called in the bylaws for it. And so they're referred to as president, vice president, treasurer, and secretary. I think are the way the bylaws refer to them.
It's also in the statute.
Is it okay?
It's section 501.065.
Yeah.
President, at least one vice president, secretary, treasurer, other officers, and officers considered necessary. So that might be where your director can come in as well.
Okay. There's aligning with the statute.
Yeah. Good question.
Always a good idea.
Okay, anything else? All right, very good.
Item number 3, discuss and take appropriate action regarding the appointment of a board president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, and assistant secretary. Ms. Dixon, our town secretary.
Just as Brandon mentioned, he gave you the definitions from the bylaws, president, vice president, secretary, treasurer. Another section 6 in bylaws states that the president, vice president, and secretary shall be named from amongst the members of the board. The treasurer and any assistant secretaries may, at the option of the board, be persons other than members of the board, but must be staff. So with that in mind, if you choose to appoint a treasurer, we would recommend that you would appoint the position town manager and or his designee as treasurer, and for assistant secretary to name the town secretary and or her designee. But the other positions need to be amongst yourselves. So you can open this up and take nominations or volunteer for each of the positions, and then vote on them. Vote on them separately. Yep, vote on each one of them separately.
We have other members that are present tonight?
You have two members.
Yeah, Scott and Travis.
So we can vote on it and force them into the.
I love it.
Well, Travis.
Is Travis still with?
I don't think James, right?
Yeah.
I don't think Travis is still with it.
Okay.
Travis is no longer, your missing member is Scott Shaw. He's a new member. He's out of the country.
Did he leave on his vote or? An absentee ballot or?
He doesn't get
Touchy subject now.
Not particularly. I'm happy to do it if called.
So you nominating?
Sure.
I'll second.
Yeah,
President is.
So if you have a first and a second nomination, which it sounds like you do, then you go ahead and call for the vote for everyone, and then you take a vote.
Everybody in favor? Please say aye.
Aye.
Your turn.
John
Mann for president.
Yes.
Happy Vice President, nobody else wants to beat me up for it.
I nominate Terry.
Second nomination.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
You made the motion, sorry.
I did.
Okay. And the second was Mr. Ryback? Oh, it was John?
We need treasurer, which is.
And that was the town council.
Our recommendation would be consider the town manager or designee for that, and then we'll make sure that it gets appropriately staffed.
I make a motion to nominate the town manager as the treasurer.
Or the town manager designee.
Or the designee of the town.
I'll second that.
For vote? Aye.
Aye.
And for secretary?
The secretary needs to be named amongst the members of the board, but then after that, you can name an assistant secretary to assist with those duties. And that would be the town secretary or designee.
John.
I second.
Vote.
So the motion, John? Second?
And then for the assistant
Andrew?
secretary?
Then the vote.
Aye.
I make a motion to nominate the town secretary and or designee as the assistant secretary to the board.
All second?
Favor?
For the vote?
Good.
Aye.
Good.
All right. Are we good with three?
Four.
All right, on to number four. Consider approval meeting minutes dated July 6, 2023, and the joint EDC Town Council meeting minutes dated September 6, 2023. And we need to vote on that, so.
I make a motion to approve the meeting minutes dated July 6th and the joint meeting minutes dated September 6th.
All second? All right, can we vote on that?
Aye.
Approved. Number five, discuss and consider approval of a resolution amending the Articles of Incorporation of TrophyClub Economic Development Corporation. Is there anything we need to discuss on this one?
I can just give you a brief summary if you'd like. This started out when we were doing the review of the appointments of the boards and commissions last fall. And the articles, current articles when they were created, had reference to town council members could be on the board of directors, which is in direct conflict with your town's charter. So at that time, we did a review of the articles and in addition to the bylaws, which is your next agenda item. So the majority of these changes are in compliance with the state law. The Economic Development Act was renamed earlier, so all of those references reflect what the current law provides.
So I'm a little confused because what Brandon put up before and what's noted in the Economic Development Sales Tax brochure, it says that the members could possibly be that three members could not be employees of the town. Right? Or council members. So the inference there is that four members could be council members. Is there some superseding, driver or?
Yes, the town charter would prohibit them from serving on.
So it's the town charter that's.
Yes.
Okay.
So when the original bylaws and articles were adopted, 90s?
Yeah, 89,
89.
Okay.
Right, so you were general law back then, there was no town charter, and when the town charter was adopted, it precluded them from serving on.
Article 8 is now red line.
Yeah.
Reflect that.
Yes, and the whole point there is just to provide clarity. This is no less than originally, which it could be zero.
Right.
But this way, there's no confusion going on into the future over whether or not town council members serve on.
Gotcha.
Any other
discussion? One motion?
Because you're gonna have to tell me what the language, so it's motion to approve.
Yes. It's to approve a resolution amending the Article of Incorporation of the Trophy Club Economic Development Corporation.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Good second.
Want to vote?
Aye.
Approve. All right, on to number 6, discuss and consider approval of a resolution approving proposed amendments to the Trophy Club Economic Development Corporation bylaws.
This piggybacks the previous items when we reviewed the Articles of Incorporation. The town attorney's office also reviewed the bylaws to bring the language in compliance with the current act.
Motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second. Vote.
Aye.
Discuss, or moving on to number 7. Discuss and consider approval of a resolution authorizing amendments to financial institution documents and naming authorized town representatives for Texas local government investment pools, ex-pool signature accounts.
So, I need a little clarification on text pool. Could somebody maybe educate me on that?
Good evening, board. Expool is a local government investment pool, and that is where the EDC's funds are housed. And this is just making a formality on those accounts and adding Mr. Wright to those accounts so that he is an authorized signer. Currently, it is me, the finance director, as well as the chief financial analyst as signers on that account. It's just formally adding him so that he can as well be on those accounts.
But text pool, who makes the decision? Who's driving the investment? Where the investment is placed? What type of vehicle?
So they're not really investing. It's really it's a common banking mechanism for governments, and it's one of the safest pools in the state. And so they're not really investing the money. It is all liquid. With it can be accessed at any given time. So it's not invested and locked down. It is all accessible.
So there's no interest, there's no accrual?
No, there is interest, yes.
There is.
It is an interest-bearing account. Yes, sir.
And do we know what the number is?
I don't have that exact number with me, but I'll get it and get that to you.
Okay, please.
Yes, sir.
We'd like to know where our money is going.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Who's heading to that, that's the investment?
Sure.
Thank you.
Any further questions?
Good question.
No other questions?
Nope.
I'll motion to approve.
Motion.
Second. All right. Vote.
Aye.
All right. And now number 8, we need to discuss the business revitalization grant program.
Good evening, EDC Board. My name is Tamara Smith, and I'm the assistant to the town manager and also your staff liaison. I'll be going over the business revitalization grant with you tonight. Also, the grant program that you received in your document, if you want to look at it, starts on page 63. While we go over it. I'll just go over some highlights of the grant program. I did meet with a council member, and I'm going to share those thoughts with you tonight, as well as some quick questions I have for you after preparing the grant program. I just want to make sure that I encompass everything that y'all are wishing for, as well as next steps. So we'll go ahead and get through this. Okay, so a little bit of a background on this. Last year, the EDC board decided to allocate $300,000 to a grant program. The items that I was given was for it to be a facade grant program, as well as make sure there's some kind of stake for the grantee to have some financial output, as well as getting the grant from us. So matching funds. One of the highlights of this is that the matching fund is heavily based on the town side, so it's 85%, and the business side would be 15%. So that kind of gives them a little bit of skin in the game. They've got to put some money up front, so we know for sure that they're in this with us. I did take the $300,000 and thought maybe 15 projects to come out of that, so which would make up to $20,000. Is that an amount that y'all are okay with, or would you like to up that amount? Other cities do larger amounts. This is just a thought process that I had when I was going through this grant program, was to put it at up to $20,000, so we could get at least 15 projects out of it. But if you want to go up in the dollar amounts, I can definitely add that in. Is $20,000 okay for everybody?
So if it's going to be used for equipment, storefront enhancements, or interior enhancements,
That's signage, right?
And we're going to go over the types of items that are in there. $20,000 is what I was thinking of. We can definitely add more money to it.
and I'm going to get to the
Yeah,
20,000. I just want to make sure that I understood the scope of what the projects, what will the projects be. And I want to make sure we have a realistic, realistic limit here.
Absolutely.
I think 20K for what we're talking about, my opinion is, and 20K is okay. Anybody?
I don't like the idea of more.
No, I think 20K is a good limit.
Okay.
And who decided on the 85-15?
That was just something that I came up with, so that it was more on the town side. We can definitely do matching grant dollars different.
I mean, that's.
Is that too much for us?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. I'd like to see a business have more skin in the game.
Okay. And what percentage are y'all looking
I
for?
don't know. 50-50 might be a little too much, if somebody's got to come up with 10K, if they're going to get a 20K grant.
75-25.
Yeah, 75-25. I feel good with 75-25.
75-25? Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, and so even though I got facade grants from you, I was thinking of kind of distributing it a little bit differently to where it was up to 20,000 for equipment. Because if we're looking at older businesses and they would like maybe their equipment is highly expensive, and that's something that's keeping them from getting more customers. That could be something that we provide for them. So I putting equipment in there to kind of help out those older businesses, depending on what kind of business it is.
I mean, the POS system alone is going to run 18 to 20K. I mean, that's a basis for any sort of retail system. Why would we, and again, I'm just thinking out loud here, why would we limit it 10K for storefront or interior enhancements? Why wouldn't we just make, it's an up to a 20K grant?
Yeah.
Right? And, we wouldn't limit the amount per project.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can definitely do that. Absolutely.
I think it makes it easier
Okay.
for deployment. And also for application.
Absolutely. I did do interior enhancements, just because if it's an older business, they might want interior instead of facade, as well as signage. I did some research on some signage, and the TxDOT does a Lone Star Logos, which is frontage road signage, and it's a little less than $5,000, and you can get your business on there. It says next, it's a big blue business sign that say next exit is Holiday Inn.
Okay.
And then on the frontage road it says Holiday Inn, and it has a little sign toward. Those are a yearly purchase, and it's a little bit less than $5,000. That's where I got $5,000 from.
So
I thought maybe that.
Does zoning have any restriction on where the business signage could be?
I believe so, yes. And we would have to work with TxDOT with that anyways, so it'd be a partnership with them.
I would think even just signage within the town, there's probably quite a few rules on what they can have on it.
Yes. Locked in, especially signage for the business itself. It has to go through a whole process. So it could get costly. Also for the application review, I made a first review where it was staff and EDC together. And then that final review would be town manager right before we take it to town council, if we needed to take it to town council. That's for over $10,000, I believe. So I will add that verbiage in there. The town, I made that second tier so that the town manager could advise us if this is something that, if he has any other additional items that he would need from the business.
So I would like to see a time frame. So if someone submits an application January 1st, we're committed to give them a response by, I would say, 60 days. Is that reasonable?
Yeah.
You see where I'm going with that?
Yeah, definitely.
So I do have in the next steps that we will create a reviewing grant program, so we'll do a review for that.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Response for us or every.
I mean,
The whole process.
yeah, you're gonna have an answer within 60 days.
That's.
Is that reasonable for staff?
Yeah, I think what you want to have is flexibility here, right? I think the normal schedule will be fine with that. There will be times where you get one where you want to think about it a little further, you want some additional information, you're going to go back, things like that. So I think you'd be fine with having anticipated timelines in there, with the idea that sometimes there might be a little more time when you would need to sit on this, and you wouldn't want to feel like you're rushed into making a decision because of a timeline by agency.
Well, we need more information.
Correct.
That could be the response.
Exactly.
So there's yes, no, and. we need
Oh, there you
more
go,
data.
yep, that's fine.
Would each grant require like a meeting quorum, et cetera, for us to review and approve?
Yes. There will be a review process guideline that we'll have to create, which would address the timing of everything, and when we start and when we finish, and when we meet. So it'll have all of that on the guidelines.
Great, thank you.
And the last thing, kind of a highlight, is that the performance agreement, now this is something that the Texas Comptroller says that we have to have for any kind of grant dollars that we're sending out. We have a couple of requirements from them. I'll work with our staff and dean to get that performance agreement as well. And then also in addition to the item, because we are a sales tax exempt, any reimbursements, we will not be paying sales tax. So I'll add that in as well. Okay, so I met with one of the council members, and some of their priorities was to support the businesses that have been here the longest. I know that was one of the priorities of EDC last year. I wanted to make sure that was still a priority of yours. So we would go towards businesses that have been here longer rather than ones that have been here for a year or less. Okay. Also, council is really excited about before and after pictures. So we will present to them some before and after pictures of the grant program as well. In addition to that, are you willing to keep applications that you either do not approve or you've denied on hand for the next year, and just give them a follow-up saying, hey, if you can complete this, we'll keep your application on file for at least a year? Okay, so we'll add that in as well. Okay, questions I have for you. Are we okay with interior grants? I did add that in without. Okay, perfect. Exterior grants, do we want to go into more depth about what we're looking for? Like concrete work, doors, windows, or are we okay with just a broad what's in there?
Personally, I'm okay with the broad statement.
Okay.
That it'll be specific, within the application.
Right, okay. Ineligible improvements. Do we want to have a list of ineligible improvements? Do you want to think on that and get me a list of items that you think could be potentially ineligible? Or are we okay with just accepting everything, and then if you decide and review it?
I think that could be done through the application process.
Okay.
At least
for the first year.
Okay, perfect.
And I saw some, when I just breezed through this earlier, I saw that certain businesses would not qualify, which I think is appropriate.
Yes, I did add that in there.
As long as legally, we're not subject to any sort of class action. Porn stars outside.
Yeah, I did add that in there. We definitely take it out. It was anything that was inappropriate or illegal substances as CBD oil, things like that, as well as sexual content.
That's good.
And then what is important to you? Is there anything in this application that you would like to see that is important to you that is not already in there?
Ask me after a year.
Okay. We can definitely come back and do some lessons learned.
Yes.
We want to consider a business like winning more than one grant. Like if you have, depending if you're not fulfilling 15 projects, maybe there's a business that has 2 good projects. Just kind of an idea, I guess. But
I can definitely add that in there if you're willing to.
I think that's appropriate. If we have the money, we have joint review and joint voting on whether or not we want to approve it.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I guess you get into the details then of like, well, this is 2 projects, and we're combining into one or something. But I mean, I guess we can cross that bridge later. But.
Okay. I can get some verbiage together and then send y'all a new edited copy. Okay, perfect. And then any additional information that you
Applicants must demonstrate financial stability and a clear plan for the project's completion.
Yes.
Nowadays, when you decide you're going to make an improvement on a business, anything that requires construction, you could run into significant delays. I think we need to be cognizant of that, but we also need to have a solid completion date.
Yes.
And maybe, I don't know if we want to consider milestone payments, that's something that we should look at because there's a market out there and then there's reality, right?
So in there is milestone updates that are dedicated that they'll have to provide us financial as well, financial statements of what they have up to that milestone. And then we will have a final review and a final look at their project to complete it.
It says here, I'm sorry.
Yeah. It sounds like the reimbursement is after the work is completed and verified by the town.
Is that okay, or do you want to front the dollars? That is an option as well.
No.
Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect.
I mean, that'll incentivize them to get the project done.
Exactly. Right. And quicker, so they're not dragging their feet on it. I thought that would be perfect.
Nicely done.
Right. So next steps, just wanted to quickly glance over this. So I'll revise the few items that I have for you. And then we'll work with our staff and dean on a performance agreement. We'll finalize this program for you. If we need to add 1295 form, we will. We'll create a resolution for this grant program itself. take it to council after you've approved it, and then we'll roll it out to the marketing. So we've got kind of a little bit more to go. We could potentially get this done by May or June, and then start the application process and assign the dollars to the 300,000 that you have. We'll just have to start working on this list and then get it all together. So we have a plan of action.
I did see somewhere in here, correct me if I'm mistaken, but I did see that it doesn't apply to home-based business.
Correct.
Online business.
Correct. I did add that in there. Yes. It was just the storefront business here. Yes.
With various kind of projects, construction projects, et cetera, are we gonna require like a certain amount of quotes, or like how are we gonna baseline, what these projects should cost, or what they should, what.
So I have in there that with this application, they will have to provide us, if it is something that is an actual construction, they'll have to provide us with the construction project documents from an engineer, from all of the things, and they have to go out for the engineer. I don't have anything on a quote, but they'll have to provide us with engineer documents if they want to do some kind of construction.
But I think that's a very good point, because it could be their brother-in-law.
Right.
Do we want to add that in there?
I think at least two quotes would be good.
Two quotes, okay. I can add that in there.
Just for my own education, what's a 1295?
That is an ethics form. I don't think that we apply for that. It has something to do with over $1 million and things like that. If it does apply to us, then of course we'll add it in, but yeah. Okay, anything else? If you have anything, shoot me an email, and I will get it in this grant program. And I'm excited.
Thank you. Yeah. Great job. Thank you.
Whoops.
All right. Next item on the agenda is to break out into executive session. And do I need to read this? Okay. Pursuant to the following designated sections of the Texas Government Code, annotated Chapter 551, Texas Open Meetings Act, the town will recess into executive session and discuss the following. A, Section 551.087, deliberation regarding economic development negotiations. We're going to, in one, discuss negotiations regarding respective commercial project within the town of Trophy Club. B, Section 551.072, deliberation regarding real property. One, discuss a real estate and economic development opportunity. The time is 6:63. We'll go into executive session.
And just to clarify for the record, I know it says town, but it's the board.
No. Thank you.
Great job.
We don't have anything else to cover. I will motion that we adjourn.
Ooh, I forgot about the gavel.
There you go.
Oh, here he goes.
You could just, you don't need
Stay-
to.
stay-
Stand up.
There we go. Official.